No Porn by Jack Varnell, 7/22/2010. I am not a porn star. I can't even speak Czech. A truthful fiction. The names have not been changed, so I just won't be using them. But first, a confession. Once upon a time, I worked in the porn industry. Now, with my boyish good looks and youthful enthusiasm, you're likely to be picturing me in front of the camera, dazzling the world with enthusiasm and vigor, which may or may not have been accurate. If you've known me for a while, you may have heard me mention more than once, pun intended, not at all true. I called them the Godfathers back then, behind their back, of course, only. It was still those bookstore DVD days, the tail end of the transition of dirty bookstores governed by municipal laws to all porn all the time internet of free content disguised as voyeuristic first-timers with a fantasy for every single token. These are the girls that can explain Epstein's millions. My function was different. A well-built pedigree allowed me the jack of all trades title, pun intended. I drove the limo sometimes, I fed the Arabian horses sometimes, and I hid some money in inventory spillage. In my role, I came in contact with every level of business associated with such a monopolistic force. I was hired to install the systems, saving software needed to ensure or prevent a Y2K meltdown, so the third level accounting may be recovered or corrupted should the world end. I mean, it was the dummy books anyway, left there for the feds specifically. My tasks varied, but started with traveling the South in a company car and an expense account to one of 65 adult bookstores in Florida, Tennessee, and New Orleans. It started out at 65 stores, but one of the things that I learned along the way was ways to keep all the people on their toes. It was kind of a game, like an old school generational FBI horseplay kind of thing. There were 65 stores owned by my boss today. Monday it could be 70, 50 on Wednesday, and 100 on the 15th of next month. The circle owned everything needed in the supply chain, all by different companies, all owned by the same people. Talent, content, manufacturing, packaging, and the stores. Property. Even the construction company that did the continual remodeling of the stores was owned by the Godfathers. All the revenue from the company stays in that circle. They even freaking own rubber plantations in Brazil in order to mine latex for Doc Johnson and his extraordinary sex toy extravaganza. This is the groundwork for this story. These are some of the players. I have for a long time and for several reasons felt that the extremely wealthy run the risk of extreme desensitization. I mean, what do you buy the asshole who has everything? You don't, really. Apparently you rent them a teen. You know, they get tired of toys so easily. Some of the Me Too folks and icons like that guy, MJ, have one thing in common. Ultra wealth, insatiable egos, and a hunger for more because you can have all the norm you want. If you are a narcissist, it's even worse. To not be talked about than what the masses might be saying. Call me a pedophile, but just talk about me, please. There's a big market for answers that are not provided in the basement of pizza shops. There is no Apollo space program. That's just projection. That's where you tell the truth about the story, but lie about the players and the details. Deniable plausibility. The Sea Witch was a beauty, built by hand in the 1940s with all the opulence you might expect from a 190-foot yacht. A sort of bright light of rescue for all of those that were living in the gray all the time, or so it was said. The rumors were that the walls were going to fall. Only so many had the ability to wait offshore for it to happen, and they did. months and months and months. People were counting on them, and Sergei could be counted on. When the day came, the recruiting had completed. Paperwork was in order, and the oligarchs were pleased, as were the Godfathers. And the Sea Witch steamed away with its cargo, young, beautiful, and full of rescued promise, looking for new endeavors with names like Private, 17, and Eastern Bloc, promise of wealth, and wealthy men at parties, looking for a wife just like you, Natalia. But first, we're going to need you to come to a party. We'll give you your passport back later, but first we need to wash it. See, these are the girls that explain Epstein's wealth. These are the girls that made me run away from what I knew I had been a witness to. I no longer work in porn. I can't unsee what I know but never saw. That may be worse than if I had. But at least you guys never had to endure me on film.